Hello guys and welcome to my YouTube. I am Brianna behind Clay Leaf Creations, and today I'm going to be walking through how I made a zombie dragon. And sorry it's a little bit late, it was supposed to be done for Halloween but had a few complications here and there. Procrastination. But either way, we're here today and we're going to go ahead and start going through everything. Right now I'm just working on the armature and getting it sized to and sitting in the position that I'd like it to sit on these skulls, which I found at Home Depot. So I thought they were pretty cool and I immediately thought zombie dragon. So here we go. Here I am just measuring out the wings to make sure they are relatively the same size and getting them all proportioned and looking in the formation that I want them to be. The best advice I can give about the armature is think of it as your skeleton. This is going to be your base, and so what is going to be holding up the rest of your sculpture and making sure that it doesn't fall apart, your arms are in the right place, and that way it just kind of gives you the backbone to put on your foil and everything else. And while we're watching the wing formation here, if you guys do enjoy my videos and want to see more, like, subscribe, follow. I also have other links listed down below in the bio section. And if you do have things you want to provide me feedback on or have ideas of what you guys want to see next, go ahead and leave a comment. I want to build a community with you guys and always willing and happy to hear what you guys have to say and what you're looking for as well. I am using Cosclay for the wings just because it is a little bit more flexible and I want it to be super light, super thin, so going with Cosclay is the best way to go so it doesn't break. And I'm just adding it onto the wing formation skeleton here. It's always easier to apply on thinner wings if you have either wire wrapped around it or if you have some glue on the wire. That way the clay actually sticks and grabs onto a little bit better. And for this project I didn't really care if the other side of it had full-on clay because I would be covering it with the actual wing flap portion of it. So just making sure the front part is completely covered with clay. Oh my god, guys, don't do this. Please don't be me. I could have seriously cut myself with that knife. Yeah. Please make sure you're cutting on something that is safe, or at least you're wearing some gloves that could protect your fingers. I am honestly shocked I didn't cut myself open. So please don't do what I did. And here we are bulking out the armature just to make sure we increase the mass. I didn't want it to be too thick because I knew I was going to be cutting into the clay to create that zombie effect with some of the bones and other stuff sticking out. So always be mindful of how big you are going with your armature and how much you are bulking out, because the more you bulk, the bigger your dragon is going to be, so keep that in mind. Now I'm switching to Apoxie Sculpt, which is going to be what most of the dragon is made out of. I had white and black version, so I started using the white to create some of the horns and the ribs out of it, as you can see here. Then I just switched over to the black, and I also ran out of the white, so... before the epoxy dried on the face, I did make sure I put in the horns and then started working on the tail, which was supposed to be a bone, but like I said, I ran out of the white. So here we are just sculpting it in black, and we'll just paint it later. And since I am using epoxy, I do have to start working on the texture, because once it's dry, then you can't really add that texture back in there. So I'm going to texture it and start creating some of those ridges and cracks that go along with decaying skin here, as well as putting in the wings, as you can see, with some hot glue. You can use hot glue when you're using air dry clay, but I would not recommend if you are going to be putting this in the oven. Hot glue does not go in the oven. In any kind of project that you make sure you do have references. Doesn't matter if it's a fantasy creature or not, you can still probably find all the musculoskeletal information that you need to create a creature for anything that you're making, but you need to have that reference just so you know where to place your wings, where to place your ribs, where to place everything so that it looks anatomically correct and not just really crazy loopy creature thing. Unless that's something that you are going for, but even still you need to know the form so that you know how to play with it and manipulate it to your preferences. And now to add all the spikes and position everything to see how I like it. I made sure to do this before the epoxy dried, otherwise I'd have to drill holes into it. So be careful and mind your time when you're dealing with air dry clay. With most of the details done, I realized that I really wasn't happy with the face that I made, so I decided to add a little bit more clay and fix it up a little bit. And that just sometimes happens. Sometimes you have an idea in your head, it just doesn't quite work out, and then while you're sculpting you have to adjust and modify it a little bit. And then kind of last minute I decided to add a fish like he was eating a fish, so you'll see that in a second here. Another last minute decision here, I decided to have him chained to the corpse heads here. So here we are, this is how we make the chains. And now onto painting. So first off, I put some gesso on him so that he has some good matte primer on him. And then for the parts that were needed to be the bones, I first put some white on there, and then before the paint completely dried, I started mixing a little bit of yellow and brown paint until I got to the consistency that I liked for the bone color. And then of course we have to add some red to where he has the scarring, and this red it's a little bit bright at first, but then it turns to turn a little bit darker, which is good because dried blood is more brownish than bright red. And now to turn his skin into a little bit more like rot, so we're going to be dry brushing with a lit of green pen pastel and a little bit of white to make his skin look brighter. For the wings, I want it to look a little bit like dead flesh, so I did a little bit of paint washing, which is just a little bit of very light pinkish gray, and then before it dried I added a little bit of a pale green to make it look like it was rotting. And with that, he is done. Here is the final view of our zombie dragon. Thank you for watching and joining me on this adventure. If you are interested in my work again, like, subscribe, follow. I'll be making more videos, hopefully every month, and each video is going to be under a certain section, so this one is our Halloween version. I have something I am working on already for our Thanksgiving release. I know I'm a little bit behind this year, but definitely getting things out for you guys here soon. And I also have Patreon and Instagram if you want to support me as well. I do have a bunch of links here in the bio or the description, but down below. I'll also include my materials and more information about the sculpture and my website as well, where you can purchase some original sculptures or this big guy himself. I look forward to seeing you guys next time on our next video, and I look forward to hearing your guys' feedback as well on the video and what creatures you would like me to sculpt next. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And I want to give a special thank you to my patrons Jenny and Stephanie. Thank you guys so much for your support.